Here we go. Okay, we're in Esther chapter 4. And Milo's going to take it away.
All right. When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes and put on sackcloth with ashes and went out into the midst of the city and cried with a loud and bitter cry and came even before the king's gate, for none might enter into the king's gate clothed with sackcloth. And in every province, whitherso the king's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Yahudim, and fasting, and weeping, and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told her. Then was the queen exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not. Then called Esther for Hathach, one of the king's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai to know what it was and why it was. So she was in the dark about this. It goes out on all the land, but she was in the dark as to what was going to come to her people. Verse 6. So Hathach went forth to Mordecai into the street of the city.
That's interesting. Isn't it really wicked of how a king or even sometimes a CEO or some big shot guy keeps their secrets from their wives about what they're doing in their jobs and occupation? Politicians, all types of stuff, you know. Not everyone, I think, does it. Some stuff is so public, it eventually gets there. But it's like weird. Like, there's so many wicked people that families don't even know how wicked they are in their workplace, how wicked their husbands are. I mean,
yeah.
All right, anyway.
Verse 6. Oh, and I was going to say, you know, obviously, you know, their response, the Yehudim's response is the weeping, the wailing, and fasting, and much needed, and something that I need to do is this, because we're still in exile, and I think when that reality comes to get back to this place of mourning, as I think it's an appropriate response. And I'll be honest, I haven't fasted in, you know, for duration of time for a long time. Verse 6. So Hathach went forth to Mordecai into the street of the city, which was before the king's gate. And Mordecai told him all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay to the king's treasuries for the Yahudim to destroy them. Wow. This is straight assassination, like he's paying. Okay, my goodness. Verse 8, also, he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to show it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the king, to make supplication unto him, and to make requests before him for her people. And Hathach came and told Esther the words of Mordecai. And again, Esther spoke unto Hathach and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. All the king's servants and the people of the king's provinces do know that whosoever, whether man or woman, shall come in unto the king into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of him, to be put to death, except such to whom the king shall hold out the golden scepter that he may live. But I have not been called unto to come in unto the king for these 30 days. So in a nutshell, part of their law is, unless the king commands you to come before him, you be put to death. Now, the only stipulation is if he holds out his golden scepter to you, if you came in without being summoned, then basically he's showing mercy that you may live. This is the queen
speaking. This is the wife. Like, even exactly. I'm the wife, and even I
can't come in.
That's wicked, man.
So she's saying
pride. You talk about pride and egotistic and narcissist. Oh my gosh.
So this is basically like the opposite law of Vashti. So Vashti didn't come when she was summoned, and now you can't come when you are summoned. But what Esther's saying, though, if you're hearing her cry, she's saying,
no, you can't come when you're not.
When you're not summoned. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. But what Esther's cry is saying, if I go and he has not summoned me, I may be killed. I may be put to death.
That's crazy.
So that's her reality. And let's look at the response.
What you doing that's so important that nobody can approach you? Yeah.
Verse 12.
We know what's going on.
Verse 12.
Sucker. Need some accountability.
And they told to Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with yourself that you shall escape in the king's house more than all the Yahudim. For if you altogether hold your peace at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Yahudim from another place. But you and your father's house shall be destroyed, and who knows whether you are come to the kingdom for such a time as this. And I think these are powerful words from Mordecai. I see his response as he's saying, either way, if you don't stand up at this time and say something, Yahuwah is going to deliver. There's going to be deliverance from somewhere else. But since you are in this place and in this position, and this could be the very reason, and you don't say anything, then you may be destroying your own family's house. Like, I'm still trusting deliverance coming, but it very well may be through you. You have anything?
Yeah, no, that's good.
Verse 15, then Esther bade, return to Mordecai, go gather together all the Yahudim that are present in Shushan.
Yeah. You okay? Yeah, I'm all right. No, I'm all right.
Present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 days, night or day. I also and my maidens will fast likewise. And so will I go unto the king, which is not according to the law, and if I perish, I perish. So Mordecai went his way and did according to all that Esther had commanded him.
Man, I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
That's right. He must be God. I think that was in response to the king not allowing people to come in, I guess.
Yeah. Pride, man. Pride.
So this is it's a powerful story. I think it really, really is.
Right. I think that's a self-explanatory chapter. See what's going on. Esther's the only opportunity right now for the Yahudim to probably be saved at this point. But this is he a prophet?
No, this is her uncle. I mean, her cousin.
Okay.
Who raised her.
He's got pretty good faith to know that even if she doesn't do it, Yahuwah is going to send somebody. So he's got a lot of faith. It's pretty good. Next chapter. Who would like to read that hasn't read yet? This is your chance. If not, I will jump in. Brother Bobby or Kristen, either one. You're unmuted.
Shalom. All right, I'll read.
Shalom.
I'll take this one. Okay, 5, verse 1. And it came to be on the 3rd day that Esther put on royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the sovereign's palace, in front of the sovereign's house, while the sovereign sat on his royal throne in the royal house, opposite the entrance of the house. Verse 2. And it came to be, when the sovereign saw Sovereigness Esther standing in the court, that she found favor in his eyes. And the sovereign held out to Esther the golden scepter which was in his hand. And Esther went near and touched the top of the scepter. And the sovereign said to her, what is it, Sovereigness Esther? And what is your request? Up to half my reign, and it is given to you. And Esther answered, if it pleases the sovereign, let the sovereign and Haman come today to the feast which I have prepared for him. And the sovereign said, get Haman at once to do as Esther has said. Then the sovereign and Haman went to the feast which Esther had prepared. Verse 6, and the sovereign said to Esther at the feast of wine, what is your petition? And it is given you. And what is your request? Up to half my reign, and it is done. And Esther answered and said, my petition and request is this. If I have found favor in the eyes of the sovereign, and if it pleases the sovereign to give my petition and perform my request, then let the sovereign and Haman come to the feast which I make for them. And tomorrow I shall do according to the word of the sovereign. Verse 9, and Haman went out that day rejoicing with a glad heart. But when Haman saw Mordecai in the sovereign's gate, and that he did not stand or tremble before him, he was filled with wrath against Mordecai. But Haman held himself in, and came to his house. And he sent and called for his loved ones, and Zeresh his wife. And Haman recounted to them the esteem of his wealth and his many sons, and all in which the sovereign had promoted him, and how he had exalted him above the officials and servants of the sovereign. And Haman said, besides Esther the sovereigness, let no one but me come in with the sovereign to the feast which she prepared, and tomorrow too I am invited by her along with the sovereign. Verse 13. But all this does not suit me, as long as I see Mordecai the Yehudi sitting at the sovereign's gate. So his wife Zeresh and all his loved ones said to him, let a wooden structure be made 50 cubits high, and in the morning speak to the sovereign that Mordecai be hanged on it, and go with the sovereign to the feast rejoicing. And the word pleased Haman, and he had the wooden structure made. So basically, she found favor in his eyes. She was able to coerce him to the feast, but yet Mordecai was at the gate. So then it put something in him that he wants to kill him before the feast. So now we got an interesting storyline going. What's going to happen? Does Mordecai survive before the feast, basically?
Wow.
Yeah.
A little mixture of good news and bad news. Pretty wicked at the end there.
Yeah. I think remember, and this is the guy that wants to destroy all of the Yahudim, Haman, right?
Yeah, it's Hitler.
Yeah, basically. And well, I'm not even getting into that.
I know. I'll just bring an example.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say something. People blow it up. Anywho, but I think it's interesting how behind, obviously Mordecai doesn't know what is being prepared. I mean, my thing says the gallows, like they're like, you know, this wooden structure that they're trying to kill Mordecai on. I just think it's interesting. What I'm getting is, if I had to spiritualize it, how the enemy plots against you, and you don't know it. And then we're going to see, I mean, I'm not going to say anything. We'll see what happens, but I think it's very interesting and how people do try to plot against you or do try to speak curses against you when you don't know, you know. But what I love about Mordecai is, even though he knows that this battle is coming, that he does not, he does not even flinch in front of Haman. Like he still doesn't bow down. He still refuses to bow down to this guy. And I think that's very powerful. And the names that of the three guys that the three Hebrew boys was Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah. Saw that up in Daniel chapter 1. So is that
right.
Is that derail saying?
Anybody any comments, any questions? I want to read the next chapter.
It's like interesting. Yeah, keep going.
I'm ready. Woo! Thank you, Brother Bobby. Let's see here, chapter 6.
Mm-hmm.
Esther chapter 6. I'm going back to the net, okay? I like the net. Esther chapter 6. Throughout that night, the king was unable to sleep, so he asked for the book containing the historical records to be brought. As the records were being read in the king's presence, it was found written that Mordecai had disclosed that Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's eunuchs who guarded the entrance, had plotted to assassinate King Ahasuerus.
Oh, the timing of this.
Wow.
The timing of this dream. The timing of this dream is not a coincidence. That the same night, I'm sorry,
go ahead.
The same night that Haman is, building the structure and trying to basically plot the death of Mordecai. Because in the morning his plan was to go to the king and say, hey, let's go kill this guy Mordecai. The same night is when the king has this dream. And it's all I believe is Yahuwah giving him, it's not a dream, but disturbing his sleep. Yahuwah causing him to not be able to sleep. So yeah, I'm sorry, I said dream, but I meant not the dream, but disturbing his sleep so that he couldn't sleep. Misspoke.
Verse 3, the king asked, what great honor was bestowed on Mordecai because of this? The king's attendants who served him responded, not a thing was done for him. Verse 4, Then the king said, "Who is that in the courtyard?" Now Haman had come to the outer courtyard of the palace to suggest that the king hang Mordecai on the gallows that he had constructed for him. The king's attendant said to him, "It is Haman who is standing in the courtyard." The king said, "Let him enter." I'm confused. The king asked who is in the courtyard. And it looks like Haman said Haman's in the courtyard.
No, it wasn't Haman. Someone else told him. The king's servant said.
Okay, king's attendant said to him. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm like losing track of myself. All right. So this attendant said, "That's Haman standing in the courtyard." The king said, "Let him enter." So Haman came in, and the king said to him, "What should be done for the man whom the king wishes to honor?" Haman thought to himself, "Who is it that the king would want to honor more than me?" So Haman said to the king, "For the man whom the king wishes to honor, let them bring royal attire which the king himself has worn, and a horse on which the king himself has ridden, on one bearing the royal insignia."
I have the crown royal, which is set upon his head.
Crown royal, which is set upon his head?
That's what I have.
Interesting. What do you have, Doug, for the end of verse 8?
I have, if I have found favor in the eyes of the king, and if it pleases the king to give my petition and perform my request.
No, it's a different, chapter 6.
Chapter 6. Let a royal robe be brought which the king has worn, and a horse on which the king has ridden.
That's it.
And one with a royal crest placed on his head.
Okay. Verse 9. Then let this clothing and this horse be given to one of the king's noble officials. Let him then clothe the man whom the king wishes to honor, and let him lead him about through the plaza of the city on the horse, calling before him, "So shall it be done to the man whom the king wishes to honor." Does yours have the word honor? Is this like a trick?
No, mine has not. Why? What do you?
Sounds like honor is a good thing.
Yeah.
And it's a trick.
Okay, no. Okay, so you're
it sounds like a trick.
No. Okay, so this is what.
What's going on? Yeah, please.
So basically,
what is going on right now?
Sorry, the king is wrestling, right? He can't go to sleep, so he asks for the chronicles of his kingdom to be read to him. And within that story,
Count Mordecai,
right,
was part of
saving him, saving his life, saving the king's life. So at this time, Haman comes into the king's court, and the king is like, who's that in the king's court? And the servants say, "Oh, it's Haman." So Haman comes in, and the king says to him, "Haman, what should the king do to show someone honor?"
Okay, so it is legit honor.
It is.
Okay.
And so Haman says
to himself,
because
he's a Jew, they're trying to trick him.
No, Haman doesn't even know he's talking about Mordecai at this point.
Oh,
Haman thinks it says, and he thought
he just knows the name Mordecai. He doesn't know.
Mordecai has not been brought up at all to Haman. Okay.
Didn't he just read here? He says it was found written that Mordecai, verse 2, written that Mordecai had disclosed that. Big thought. So
yes, my love, but
it's written.
The king knows what's going on in his thoughts, but Haman didn't know what the king was reading. Haman comes in not knowing that the king just read about Mordecai.
Okay. Got
so
it.
He comes in.
Haman comes
fresh.
in fresh.
His intention.
Blank slate.
His intention was to go to the king and say, "I want to hang Mordecai." That was his intention.
Right.
Before that whole thing.
So what's the interaction between the king and Haman? Just go straight there.
Okay. So the king says to Haman, just coming in fresh, clean. Haman, what should I do if I want to honor a man? And Haman thinks to himself, he's going to honor me.
What should I do if I honor a man? Yeah. Just general, keeping it general.
Yes. So Haman thinks it's about him.
Right.
So he's like, give him royal apparel, put this thing on his head, chauffeur him around, because he thinks he's talking about himself.
Got it.
Okay. There you go.
Beauty. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That helps somebody out there. I know you with me. Somebody's with me. Lost.
I think when you read
don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
All right, verse 10.
Happens all the time.
Happens all the time to me, guys.
Don't worry about it.
Verse 10. The king then said to Haman, "Go quickly, take the clothing and the horse, just as you have described, and do as you just indicated to Mordecai, the Yahudim, who sits at the king's gate. Don't neglect a single thing of all that you have said." So Haman took the clothing and the horse, and he clothed Mordecai. He led him out about on the horse throughout the plaza of the city, calling before him, "So shall it be done to the man whom the king wishes to honor." Then Mordecai again sat at the king's gate, while Haman hurried away to his home like a little baby, mournful and with a veil over his head. Thank you, wife. It's making a whole lot of sense now. Haman then related to his wife Zeresh and to all his friends everything that had happened to him. These wise men, along with his wife Zeresh, said to him, "If indeed this Mordecai, before whom you have begun to fall, is Yahudim, you will not prevail against him. No, you will surely fall before him." What do you have for 13? You want to read it out loud? Go ahead.
Yeah, if Mordecai, from the beginning? Okay.
Yeah, 13.
And Haman told Zeresh, his woman, and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh, his woman, unto him, "If Mordecai be of the seed of the Yahudim, before whom you have begun to fall, you shall not prevail against him, but shall surely fall before him." It's very interesting.
I mean, he was trying to kill them. Now he's going to bow before them type of thing. I guess that's what it's kind of saying. You want them to bow before you, but you're going to bow before them. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe
I know.
It's a little typo-ish or something. I don't know.
I think
or maybe we're just misunderstanding the idiom. Verse 14. While they were still speaking with him, the king's eunuchs arrived. They quickly brought Haman to the banquet that Esther had prepared. Okay. Hallelujah. Good news. That was a good scene. That was a good episode right there. That was a good episode. Commercial break. Anybody got questions? Oh, brother D-Rail, you're unmuted.
I was gonna say, like, when you were trying to figure it out, like my dad always said when I asked a question, watch the movie.
Right. Just watch the movie, bud. Put the book down. Yeah, I should watch the movie. Give it a shot. All right. Anybody got any comments? Justine, I see you. You got something, D-Rail, before I mute?
No, I just wanted to say I would have loved to have been there to see the look on Amon's face.
Amon's face, yeah. Agreed. Justine, you're unmuted.
Everybody just got home. Say hi.
Hi, kitties.
What I was going to say is that I thought it was wise of Esther to, when she went before the king, she didn't immediately ask what she was there for. She told him to come and let her prepare for him a feast, and then afterwards she went to tell him, and I thought that was, that was wisdom. So I just wanted to mention that.
I agree. That's a very good catch. Mm-hmm. That's very strategic, very slow, right? I like it quick. Get right to it. Tell them what you want, baby. Go in there. Esther, you're going to go in there. And as soon as he asks you, what do you want? You just tell him straight up. Save all the Yahudim. Just say them.
Yeah.
It's like, no, slow down, brother D. Slow down. We got to do this slowly. Pump your brakes.
Well, I wonder if she went to him in the midst of while they were fasting.
Drinking. It was the banquet of wine, wasn't it?
No. At this time where...
No, but I'm saying didn't she ask him about during the time of a banquet of wine? That's what I saw.
She didn't reveal it. She said, if I found favor,
she still
come
didn't.
to me to the banquet. But I'm saying, I wonder if at that time...
But he was able to say with his own mouth, whatever you ask me to do, I will do.
Half of the kingdom.
And that's a word from his own mouth. So now he just, back in those days, you say something.
Yes, that was...
It's your word now.
The word was bomb.
So she could have did it. What were you going to say, D-Rail? You're unmuted.
I was going to say, like they say, another way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yep. She got him. It's true.
Sam.
It's true.
Right,
What are you sitting on?
Especially my stomach. You see how skinny I gotten? I'm ready to eat.
I'm always ready to eat.
We almost turned it into
You
vegans
see
here in this house.
Sam over there.
I'm about to backslide. Backslide, bro. I'm about to go back.
And what?
We just been eating ground turkey. I'm about to start eating beef and steak and
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying
bread,
clean. I was like, get
potatoes, pasta. We've been eating ground
rice.
turkey with veggies and salad and greens. That's what our food has been. I feel like a vegan.
It's not-
Somebody at my job said, you look like a hungry vegan.
Oh, babe, that's
I
so
said,
humble.
Dang. I didn't expect that one, bro.
Aw.
Anyway,
I gotta pump you up. Okay.
anyway.
My mom.
Wait till man's
my mom
heart is
will
food.
fatten him up.
Yeah, I'm going over to Doug's house, get some pasta. All right. Next chapter.
Oh, that
How
shit.
we doing? Oh, we might have to stop the recording because
I just wanted to mention something from the last chapter. Right at the end, it talks about capital punishment being hanging someone on a tree. I found a little correlation with their laws in the Torah, because a man that is worthy of capital punishment, the Israelites would hang him on a tree. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop the recording here. That was chapter 6.
Might as well